Today we're going to be learning about symbiotic relationships. This is a very important part in biology. Once you understand how relationships work out between animals, humans, and plants on the earth, a lot of other concepts in biology tend to work well with each other and you understand them a little bit more. The term symbiosis means the interaction between two different organisms living together. Usually there is a host and a symbiont. A host is usually the larger of the two organisms. The symbiont usually is the smaller member. There are three different types of symbiotic relationships. The first one is called parasitism. The second one is called mutualism. The third is called commensalism. Parasitism is a relationship where the symbiont lives in or on the host. The symbiont, or parasite, benefits. The host is harmed. For example, the tick in the picture above is a parasite. It benefits by extracting blood from its human host. The human is harmed. Mutualism, on the other hand, is a relationship between the host and a symbiont, where both organisms benefit and neither is harmed. This relationship can be long-term or sometimes short-term. For example, in the photo above, the host flower benefits by being pollinated by the traveling butterfly. The symbiont, which is the butterfly, benefits because the nectar that it extracts from the flower. The butterfly is getting food and the flower is being pollinated. So in this case, it's a plus-plus relationship. Each one is benefiting. The last relationship, called commensalism, is a relationship between the host and the symbiont, where the symbiont benefits and the host is neither helped nor harmed. The symbiont benefits by receiving transportation, housing, or even maybe nutrition. For example, in the photo above, the symbiont is the barnacles. I know it's hard to see, but if you look at the whale's arm, those little bumps to the side over there are barnacles. This is actually an organism that is receiving transportation from the whale. They aren't able to move through the water as quick as a whale can, so they kind of attach on, and when the whale goes for a ride, the barnacles get transportation. The host whale is neither helped nor harmed by these barnacles. He or she probably doesn't even know that they're there. Now let's see if y'all are ready to answer some questions. In this photo, the cleaner fish, which is inside the eel's mouth, receives nourishment by dining off of the parasites and remaining food debris in the eel's mouth. Is this an example of parasitism, mutualism, or commensalism? That's right, it's mutualism. The reason being is because the eel is getting his mouth cleaned and the little fish is getting food. Well, I'm sure you all love this picture. Yes, it is a human foot, and there is a fungus on it called athlete's foot. I'm sure maybe some of you might have had it. Is this an example of parasitism, commensalism, or mutualism between the fungus and the human? That's right, it's parasitism. Reason being is because the human is being harmed. If you could see, the fungus is growing on his foot. It obviously doesn't look that good. The fungus is eating off any kind of nutrients that might be able to find on the foot. So the fungus is obviously benefiting, and the host, which is the human, is being harmed. In this picture, you have orchids growing on the branches of high trees. These orchids get more water and sunlight than those on the ground. The tree is unaffected by the orchid's presence. So basically, the orchids are growing up high to receive more sun and any other kind of nutrients they can get from being at a higher advantage. What example is this? Parasitism, mutualism, or commensalism? This is actually commensalism. We haven't had a lot of examples of these. It usually goes mutualism or parasitism, but you'll find commensalism a lot with these kind of plants. The orchid grows high up on the tree and is benefiting. They're getting sunlight, water, any nutrients they wouldn't be able to get on the ground. The tree is unaffected by this. There's no way that they can be affected. A lot of times in the Caribbean or rainforest, you'll see this kind of thing happening because there's not a lot of sunlight going to the understory of the forest. At some point, though, if, for whatever reason, the orchids were to grow very heavily, be very stacked on the tree, started to make the tree, limp over, then at that point it would switch to parasitism. Well, I want to thank you all for clicking on my video. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you learned all the 3 different symbiotic relationships, and you'll be able to use this in any of your homework or things you need help with.